YouTube, what it do, what it is. Let's get straight into the biz. I've had some anxiety, which is very out of character for me because I don't get anxious. I'm not trying to flex or nothing, but I just don't. I tend to not really overthink for the most part. But I kind of got anxious making this video. I've been putting it off for a couple days, honestly. Because earlier this week I did make a video, but I didn't post it because the centered theme around it was about kind of self-respect. And I didn't really feel like that was genuine in what I said in that. I might post it later, I probably won't though, but there's always a chance. Today, I wanted today's video to be centered around self-control and kind of admitting, holding myself accountable to knowing I don't have great self-control. Basically, some events that happened in the past week and a half have showed me that, I'm such a cyclical person that, once, I start a behavior or try and change, I kind of fall back into old ways. And I'm definitely getting deja vu because I feel like I've talked about this on the channel before, but I got a really deep dive because, before I moved away for the summer, I packed a lot of my stuff in some boxes and bags and put it in the garage, and I found a journal that I packed away that I kind of forgot I had that I wrote in before I had this journal that I use currently. And it just showed me, I wrote some entries in there from 2 years ago, and just some life events that happened 2 years ago, I forgot about. And in some of the entries in here, it just showed me the kind of person I used to be compared to who I am now. And even in here, which are just a few months ago events, show me who I am now. Primarily in this one, just understanding that, a year ago, probably 2 years ago, I guess it'd be 2 years ago in this one, that I was such an undisciplined and lost soul, I had no self-control. And I've been realizing more lately, I don't have as much self-control as I think I do now. Hanging out with friends and prioritizing that over homework and job responsibilities, to drink, to smoke, whatever. And I'm almost ashamed of it. But I'm really happy I did go through those things because it put me in the position I'm in now. The whole reason I have this channel, to improve as a man, have some self-development, and to grow. So I am grateful that I went through those things, but yes, to some degree, I'm disappointed with myself that I did have those events. But it did lead me to this path now. And what I really wanted to talk about in this video, like I said, is self-control. And I'm just gonna center that around lust and misuse of substances to a degree. I don't wanna make it sound like I'm like a druggie, but drinking, smoking, whatever. Just kind of misuse of those things as a coping mechanism for the hardships in life, when I could be using it to exercise, to read, delve deeper into my faith. So 2 days ago or 2 nights ago, I was sitting here with my boy Dylan, and we just had about a 2.5 hour talk about our viewpoints on the world, hard work, the modern dating game, religion, all that kind of stuff. And he is one of the very few people in my life that I know, he's a grinder, man. He wants to go get it in everything he does in life. So I'm not gonna put his personal stuff out here on the internet. But you know, this dude, he's got some things coming. And I just expressed that to him. And you know, he said some very kind words back to me, saying how he sees me in the same kind of way. And you know, we're both very driven people, and motivated. But at the end of the day, motivation doesn't mean a lot. It's almost like a fire starter. What really keeps that fire burning and going is discipline. And that's where I feel like recently I've been lacking discipline. I didn't really have much structure for this video, but more recently, you know, with events, with a girl, you know, that ended up not working out. I'm not really gonna get too much into it, but it really showed me that, you know, I don't need to be focusing on, not even women in general, just like what I need to focus on is not being lustful and letting, you know, this head overtalk this head, you know. But what's been really great recently is, you know, after this event, you know, it kind of put me in the down and dumps for a couple days. You know, it brought me back to some teachings and some scripture. So a big thing I wanted to speak about is, you know, I'm gonna probably push more Christian content on here, to hold myself accountable, to grow in my faith, but just to also express my viewpoints on the world from a different point of view and opinion, just compared to some dude on a self-improvement journey. Now I want to kind of center it around, you know, self-improvement and developing my relationship with Christ. And I do understand, I spoke to Dylan about it, you know, I do understand that a lot of my views on the world are gonna upset a lot of people, and I've never been afraid of upsetting people. I'm just acknowledging it, putting it out here now early, so that when the time does come that maybe I get canceled or my long form media gets clipped down into 6 seconds and someone tries to portray my message in their own light so I look like kind of a bad guy, or at least they're mixing up my message, I'm putting it on the table now that it probably will happen. I'm saying it today, whenever this video is posted, you can come back months from now, years from now, and say, oh, he called that. He called that. People weren't gonna be happy with what he's saying. People were gonna clip down what he said, post it, and say, oh, Xavier is, you know, sexist, homophobic, blah, 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 like whatever they can put up against me. I'm putting it down now that it'll probably happen. Now, for the people who do know me very well, understand that none of that shit's true. Excuse my language. None of that stuff's true. And, you know, I'm trying to be the most genuine person I can be every single day. That's all I want in this life. You know, I want to work hard so that my family doesn't have to struggle and go through what I went through as a child. That's all I want at the end of the day. So on the more self-control aspect, as I was reading in both these entries, or I guess both these books, there were times where I've written, I'd say over 10 times in each, where I'd written that I'd fallen off my horse. I'd gone back to an old bad habit, whether that was, you know, misuse of substance, or talking to a different girl, or getting in a kind of situationship that I didn't need at the time, or simply losing motivation or discipline, whether that came physically or mentally, you know, just kind of giving up in some aspect of my life. But I do want to preface that I do always come back, which is something I'm very resilient in, and I'm very happy that I have that trait about myself, that I always do bounce back. But I think I fall short more often than I'd like to. And that's inevitable, being human. We're not perfect. We're sinful natures. We're sinful creatures in nature. So, I mean, you know, I'm not gonna be shocked if it happens again. It probably will happen again. I'm not saying that to be pessimistic, but it's just understanding of my nature as Xavier, not even as human, as Xavier, what I kind of do. But obviously every day I push forward to not want to do that later on. I'm gonna take a bite of me pancakes. I got IHOP yesterday. Didn't finish it because I have such a small stomach in the morning. But I woke up this morning, I jumped rope for about 30 minutes. Now I was reading these entries, and like I said, I had some anxiety about, actually recording this video finally, and thinking about the other one I recorded and not really wanting to post that one just because I wasn't really happy with the message that I put in that. But I've come to this point to where, yeah, I've been home for about 2 weeks now. I'm working again, seeing my friends, seeing family. But I'm also really close to, moving out of Idaho, going to live with my boy Ryan. And I almost have this sense of, when I was out in Chicago, the days were coming down to where I was going to come home here. And I was like, oh, thank God I'm almost home. Things are going to miraculously change for me. And, everything's going to fall into place. And I don't know why I had that delusional thought. Because it is truly a delusional thought. That why would, to a degree, a change of environment, scenery will help you be more focused on your goals or your habits, whatever. But really, at the end of the day, it's you who is the decider of your own perception of your reality. So I was telling Dylan, I can't wait to, I'm going to be working so much, going to the gym, trying to push more of this content out in better quality when I moved to Texas. But really, there's nothing stopping me here. Truly and genuinely, there's nothing stopping me here that would make me not able to do that kind of stuff. And I just have to come to terms with that. This channel is really, accountability for me on my self-development journey, and to, at least put out these thoughts that I have for the world to see, and obviously me to watch later in the future from whatever viewpoints I had back then, which is my current present, and, future me's current present as well, I guess. So I feel like I had so much more to say, but I almost feel like I'm holding back into some things. But yeah, I'm just not really there in the head right now. I just want to say I've kind of lost self-control in a lot of aspects of my life, and I have no one to blame except myself. I can accuse environment, not necessarily friends, but circles and scheduling for anything, but at the end of the day, it all comes down to me. So I guess, with the self-discipline and self-control, obviously I have to take measures into place so that I'm able to grow on a consistent basis. And obviously progress isn't linear, but it does move, or it should consistently move upwards, even if you do have those low dips at times. It still should go up for the most part. So not a really huge message today, just really holding myself accountable for my lack of self-control, and understanding that me as a person, I do have a very low self-control, and I just want to be honest with you guys about that. And until I leave for Texas, I'll put out more content, but I just don't think it's going to be as focused as I want it to be. But at the same time, nothing's perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm just trying my best to a degree each time I do put out a video for you guys, just so you can see what's going on in the forefront of my mind, whatever day I post or whatever week I post. So I really do appreciate you guys watching. Obviously leave a comment below what you want to see next. Leave a like if you like, leave a dislike if you disliked. I'll see you guys next time. But before I head out, give me a comment about, the best part about your summer, what's something you accomplished, or something you went to go do or see. Interact with me, man. Sometimes I feel like I just kind of talk to a camera for the most part, which is fine. But I do love to see what's going around with the people who do watch these videos. Obviously, most of you are my close friends, but at some point, I'd love for it to be a little bit of a bigger audience. and I'll have to make better content to reach those kind of demographics and that bigger viewership. So definitely will be stuff I'll be working on in the coming months. I also got some big stuff planned for when I do move to Texas with Brian, so those kind of things will be popping up soon. Don't want to spoil too much, but it's gonna be fun. I appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll catch you next time.